On this video, I'll tell you why they covered this entire building in cow poo. Welcome to the most recognised and controversial building in Ireland, near Belfast. This is Stormont. On the inside, home to Northern Ireland's devolved power sharing government, but on the outside, strange and controversial sculptures, a bomb crater, and an optical illusion of Disney proportions. Today, I'm in the Government of Northern Ireland's backyard to walk you through the bizarre history and the surprising Easter eggs of Stormont. The first of this place's great little hidden Easter eggs is actually right here in plain sight when you enter at the main entrance of the Prince of Wales Avenue. There's 305 red-twigged lime trees strategically planted up either side of this main road, sweeping up the Stormont. And they're planted in a certain way for a certain reason. This is an optical illusion. They've been created to give the idea that this building is further away and indeed bigger than it really is from the entrance. If you watch my channel, you'll know I'm a big fan of Disney and Disney Park, and a lot of the hidden magic that Walt Disney used himself, forced perspective and optical illusions to create the idea that something is bigger than it really is. The Cinderella Castle in the Magic Kingdom being a great example of this exact same technique. The trees have all been planted in a slightly converging angle, and that creates the illusion that Stormont is actually much further away from this point than it really is. Well, aside from obviously politicians, who else are you going to likely find in Stormont? Well, bird watchers, picnickers, dog walkers, but also people with a keen ear and eye for history. Just here you can still see the anchors that were used to tether the barrage balloons. They were used to protect Stormont and Parliament buildings during World War II, as the Senate chamber was an RAF plotting room, and this is where the balloons would have been attached. Well, say what you want about Stormont and the politicians that sit inside this building, but they know how to keep a clean public toilet, that's for sure. I mean, I think that might be the nicest, smelly and cleanest public toilet I've been in. So 10 out of 10 on that. Know that your tax money isn't being wasted, not at least in the grounds of Stormont anyway. There are a few public amenities, so maybe I just struck it lucky with that one. Now, getting a little bit out of pant because, well, I'm obviously massively out of shape, but over 3/4 of the main road that sweeps up into Stormont is flat, but the last, I'd say 20-25%, has a little bit of an incline. Actually doesn't look like that much until you're on it. As that optical illusion, or maybe just me being a lard ass. Either way, I'm gonna have to get my breath back at the top, which is a little bit embarrassing considering I see like 70-80-year-olds out here walking the dogs, and they're absolutely fine. Now, this is still an active roadway, but it's only permitted vehicles are on it. So when you do come in, you still need to just mind yourself and keep an eye out for traffic. But to be honest with you, you'll very rarely see cars or vehicles on it. Anybody who drives on that road is either a guest of the building or indeed a politician themselves. And from near the top, you'll notice that optical illusion. If you look at the trees a little bit more closer, you'll see how they go from large to very small the closer you get to the top. Well, on this plinth, on this roundabout, right outside the main Stormont building, is the statue of Sir Edward Carson. Still to this day, a very controversial figure and a controversial statue still. He, of course, was the prominent Irish lawyer and unionist politician. He led the campaign against the Home Rule movement. Well, believe it or not, Northern Ireland once had prime ministers. Yeah, an idea that didn't last too long, but the first prime minister was Lord Craigavon, and it was he who launched this statue back in 1933. It says on it that the statue was erected by the Loyalists of Ulster as an expression of their love and admiration for the Right Honourable Lord Carson of Duncairn. There is loads of signage right around the estate, so you'll know at any turn what you're looking at. A little bit of history about Stormont, when it opened back in 1932, how it cost 1.2 million. Doesn't seem like a lot for this, but back then it was big money and it overran massively, and actually they had to cut back a lot of the plans they initially had for this place. And Parliament buildings, of course, this is the where the Northern Ireland government currently sits, and how the inside of this building, oh, there's the famous staircase, was pretty much modelled on the Houses of Parliament. There's at least half a dozen nature walks and trails throughout the estate. The estate is 224 acres, so it's pretty big, and depending on your fitness level or what it is you're into, those walks are tailored and themed, so you can check the signage and also some of those leaflets in the wee boxes at the entrance, and you can follow the trails and get your daily steps in or a bit of fresh air up here on the hill. And we are nearly at the building itself, and you can see from when we get to the top how it kind of towers across Belfast and the surrounding areas. You can see Stormont from pretty much everywhere, and it's easy to see why, when they were wanting to make such a big statement back in the 30s, why this little lump of hill on the Craigantlet, at the bottom of the Craigantlet hill range, was selected as a location to put this building. It can be seen for miles around. But why, at one point in its history, did they cover this place with crap? Yeah, some people would say it's still covered with crap, but we try to keep politics out of these videos. So why the poo? Well, that goes back to World War II as well, and as you can imagine, a relatively new building like this would have been a huge target for the Germans back then. This bright white Portland stone would have been seen as a massive target for enemy bombers. So to hide the building from overhead enemies, what they thought they would do is cover it with black bitumen to basically just black the building out. But they also smeared it with a concoction of cow manure as well. Now, the idea about pouring cow manure and bitumen all over this building was the bitumen would cover the building from visibility, and the cow manure, well, apparently would make it easier to come off. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And actually, still to this day, if you look really carefully, you can see remnants of that concoction that was applied to this building back during the 1940s. Yeah, where you'll see that black is really along the top there mostly, but some of the bricks can still be spotted to have remnants on it, and some of the little nooks and crannies in the brickwork you'll see are blacker than others, especially in between the floors there. Potentially Houses of Parliament vibes on the inside, a little bit more Buckingham Palace vibes on the outside. Now, from over at this side right through to this side, if you were to take a tape measure, it's going to come out at exactly 365 feet, not a centimetre over or under, exactly 365 feet. And that against a symbolic nod by the architect to the calendar year. But that's not the only thing. Given Northern Ireland needed somewhere to govern itself from after the creation of the country, the 6 counties are also represented up here in the most subtle of way. These are real Easter eggs. These 6 columns that run along the front of the building represent the 6 counties of Northern Ireland. Antrim, Down, Armagh, Fermanagh, Tyrone and Derry Londonderry are all represented by each one of these huge stone granite columns. But it's not the only nod to the 6 counties. There's also 6 floors within the building, and although you can only see 1, 2, 3, 4 visibly from this angle, there are 2 below that you can't see. Gorgeous sunset up here tonight across Belfast. You can see right down the Lagan Valley, and as far as the eye can see from up here, it's absolutely gorgeous on a day like this. Now, this is as far as you can actually go without a pass. There's a little entrance just to the side that if you're a visitor or you work here, you enter through the security hut. Now, that wasn't always the way, because up until these railings here were erected, on up those 60 steps there, you could get straight into the foyer and into the front door. And well, there's been a lot of well-publicised incidents of why that wasn't a good idea. But it is a testament of how far this place has come. Yes, you need extra security as you do everywhere now, but it was once thought that nationalists would never accept Stormont as any kind of governing place to do business in Northern Ireland. Well, nowadays, of course, inside, for the very first time, a Sinn Féin First Minister sits. Now, whilst the controversial statue of Carson remains, the work that goes on here and the politics and what Northern Ireland has become over the past 20 years is a far cry away from this place's checkered past. It's quite incredible when you think about the amount of history and the shenanigans that have gone on inside this building right here in Dundonald, just in the outskirts of East Belfast, for coming up on, well, it'll be the guts of 100 years in the not too distant future. A building with a very checkered past, but today a functioning, relatively stable Northern Ireland government sits and does the everyday business required for the people of here. Now, of course, that hasn't been without its trials and tribulations, and if you follow Northern Ireland news or politics, you'll know that this place is never too far away from the news, and usually not for great reasons, but at least it is here and it is serving some form of purpose, and I think even critics would have to agree on that. On the heels of the partition of Northern Ireland, there were massive plans way beyond what you see today earmarked for down here at Stormont. Original designs called for a massive complex, a central parliament, law courts, a ministerial block with a huge dome. Yeah, this place was even to have its very own dome on the top. And also, if you ever wondered why Parliament Buildings is called buildings plural and not singular as it should be, being one building, well, that's because there was plans for two. Of course, well, costs, as usual with these kind of things, skyrocketed, spiraled out of control, and actually the building and the other buildings in this estate were massively scaled back at the time. And it's also why Stormont Castle ended up becoming Northern Ireland's government HQ, because the initial plan for that was to be demolished. Now, for your walking and on the nature trails, really the terrain is suitable for most. Some of these paths are a little bit gravelly, gritty with wet leaves around, and of course we've just had some snow recently in Northern Ireland, so things are still slippy. By the way, when it does snow, Stormont probably one of the best places to come for sledges. The kids absolutely love it up here because of that hill, and it makes for some great sights and some great photograph moments too. But in around the woodland here, yeah, it is generally flat, apart from that little bit of incline you'll get the higher and the closer you get to the building. And there are plenty of seats interspersed throughout as well, where you can sit down, relax, and just be at one with the nature of this place in some of this stunning woodland. There are little coloured arrows which correlate to the various nature trails to let you know which way you're going. And it does say that dogs also need to be on a leash. There's a lot of dogs up here, and there's a lot of dogs also not on leashes. But there is good toilet facilities for the dogs as well. Actually, they do have those kind of doggy places where you can let them go in there and run wild, those kind of dog fenced off parks. There's a couple of them in here. It's also good, ample, clean facilities for humans as well, which is a plus. Where am I going here? Around this way. There's great car parking facilities too. There is some spaces right there at the very front of Stormont at those big gates at the Prince of Wales Avenue entrance, but there is also a little car park slightly further down that's closer to the kids' play park. So they've got a fun fact here about the Prince of Wales, as he was, of course, before becoming the king that abdicated, and how he opened this place back in 1932 at, well, it says the Parliament building came close to 1.7 million, roughly equivalent to 100 million today. But then here, there's this statue that has no information about it and very little online. It's engraved with the words, "Thrift is the greener behind all humans, all human effort." Which is weird, because all it says on the official Northern Ireland website is the statue was first shown in 1951 as a part of the Festival of Britain. It was then moved sometime after that, no date given, here to Stormont, where it's sat ever since. If you know in the comments, you can let us know, but there's very little information about that sculpture. Well, this sculpture is called Reconciliation, and it's just a little bit off the beaten track here at Stormont, but it's worth having a little look at because it's quite special. Of course, it shows a man and a woman on their hands and knees, heavily embracing each other. But this exact same sculpture is also replicated in 3 other cities. Well, to mark the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II, this was placed here at Stormont, but it was also placed in Coventry at the Cathedral, an exact replica. In Berlin at the Berlin Wall Memorial, you'll find another one that looks exactly like it, and also in the Japanese city of Hiroshima at the Peace Park. Here you'll find a great play park for the kids as well, and yeah, as far as parks go, this is actually a good one, and it's right beside the main car park as well. So if you're visiting or a local, this is always worth checking out with the kids. And unlike a lot of the memorials and sculptures and statues which all have connotations and links to sort of famous figures of the past. This is in honour of a more recent times politician. The late Mo Mowlam was the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland during Tony Blair's first Labour government, and she was given a lot of credit at the time for being the woman, and it maybe took a woman at the time to bang the heads together of some real stubborn people we had in this country back at that time. And due to the sheer passion, determination and perseverance of Mo Mowlam, the Good Friday Agreement finally came about, and that was, well, now over 25 years ago, and the rest, they say, is history. A little nod to folklore and the woodland here, and a photo spot says those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Well, it could have been a very different story for Stormont. Back in 1941, during the Belfast Blitz, a big bomb came very close. This is the huge crater it's left, and it's still here to this day, just slightly in off the main track. You can view this. They've got it fenced off the whole way around, but had this have connected just with the building half a mile further up, not even 20 years old at the time, well, the story of Stormont could be very different, and it's hard to know how that would have panned out. But this one didn't connect, it missed, and unfortunately many others during the Belfast Blitz didn't miss. 1,000 people, of course, were killed during those fateful nights back in 1941. And this huge crater that's left in here at the ground, albeit surrounded by this woodland that I'm in now, is a little reminder of maybe what could have been for this place, but also maybe, if nothing else, that it's not always a terrible idea to smear cow manure all over something. One of the newest additions to the woodland down here at Stormont is our friend here. I hope they called him Owen, because it was during Storm Owen a huge Scots pine tree fell over in these woods. I really like what they've done here with this. Rather than just kind of carve it up and dispose of it, they brought in local wood sculptors to carve out this magnificent huge structure here. The tree fell during 100-mile-an-hour winds during Storm Owen, and this thing is huge. I mean, if you bumped into it on a dark night here and you weren't aware that it was here, it would scare the absolute living daylights out of you. And he's huge. Look at the size of his feet in comparison to my hand here. So that's the story of one of the most recognisable, famous buildings probably anywhere in Ireland, and a lot further afield as well. And because Stormont is so well known locally, it's very likely that when people hear the name, they'll conjure up a thought of what it means to them, and that might not always be a good thought given Northern Ireland's past. Today, well, certainly different times and much more settled and structured work goes on in here. So hopefully for future generations, the idea of what this place represents will mean something much more positive than the last number of generations. But outside of the politics of this place, there's no doubt the 200 odd acres that this property sits in are absolutely stunning. Situated in Dundonald on the outskirts of East Belfast, you've got brilliant views from up here, a lovely sunset tonight. And whether you're a picnicker or a dog walker or just enjoy your history, this is a great place to come. And you can also go inside the building as well. They do tours, guided tours there. You should book those through NI Direct online, and there's usually plenty of availability and a chance to actually get inside and see some of those famous rooms that you'll have seen throughout Irish history. Thanks for watching us on this video today. You know why Stormont's the length it is, why it appears to be bigger than it actually is from down there on the main road, and also why they once had to smother this place with poo. So if you enjoyed this video and you like content like this from maybe here at home in Northern Ireland, other little walks and quirky facts about places near you, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification. It helps me out greatly. But for now, as the sun comes down across Belfast on a beautiful night, I'll stick 2 more videos up here. There they are. That might be useful for you if you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.